I'm here at METSTRADE 2023 with Alistair Hackett, who is the MD of Ocean Safety. Now, this year we have seen quite a lot of change with regulation and effect on the commercial sector. How has this affected the market?
January the 1st this year was quite a big change because all the regulation that was effective after Brexit actually came to fruition. And the Red Ensign approval, which is the UK's equivalent of the MED approval, it came into effect. And it effectively means that if you have a commercially operated vessel that is required to have what was ship's wheel approved product, and your vessel is UK registered, all of that ship's wheel product now has to be Red Ensign approved. It's not easy to understand, and it doesn't operate retrospectively, obviously, but for new product, it has caused all sorts of misunderstanding within industry, within operators, within owners. It's not been easy to get across, and you're now faced with a situation whereby if you had a large charter yacht that you were operating out of the south of France, for example, and you needed a new set of life jackets and your vessel is UK registered, you have to put on board Red Ensign approved products, and it is causing a lot of misunderstanding.
So how do users and customers then actually understand what they're buying?
They just have to research it, and interestingly enough, there's quite a lot of manufacturers who've said we're not doing this. And so in some respects the volume of product that is now available to people is actually less than it was beforehand, and it is causing interest amongst people who are developing further regulation, and also obviously people who are operating these vessels, because it covers everything. It's not just inflatable emergency products. Fire extinguishers, EPIRBs, all that sort of stuff have got to have this Red Ensign approval. So it has caused a stir. Obviously it doesn't affect your leisure operator. So for the person who's sailing their yacht with their family of four or whatever, wherever in the world, it doesn't affect them. But for people who are operating vessels commercially, it has certainly caused a bit of a stir.
Now, AIS started off in big ships but has got smaller and smaller, and now they're on tiny personal locator beacons, and we've got a thing called AIS Overload. Could you explain what that actually is?
Well, it's something that was actually started being talked about only a couple of weeks ago, in that originally AIS was designed for ships and for vessels and to identify where they are and all the information that we're aware of. But as you say, it's actually now turned into small personal AIS systems, and the actual system is becoming overloaded. And so the authorities have started saying and asking questions about which elements of AIS do they want to continue with, which elements do they perhaps want to change. Industry doesn't know what the answers are, but I find it quite worrying that they're actually starting to say, well, actually, this has all been a little bit too successful now, and there's too many of them, which is effectively what they're saying. And there is now going to be a move, I think, in the future, and it's not going to happen quickly, where we may well find that AIS units, which are also DSC enabled, they may end up having some new regulation. What it is, I have no idea. But yeah, no, it's quite interesting. And in some respects, it's unfortunate because we found a system, certainly from a man overboard position, which actually works, an identification system and a location system that really, really works. And it's been a real game changer. And I really hope that we can, industry can work with the regulatory bodies to actually get ourselves into a situation where we don't detune the whole thing, so that we end up with a product that doesn't do what it already does.
Now, these products, not just getting smaller, you are combining them so that they do multiple things. And how are things developing there?
Well, I think it kind of all started last year at METS. So the Ocean Signal PLB3 won the Dame Award last year, and that was really the first proper, fully integrated AIS unit and 406 megahertz EPIRB. And from an industry, maritime safety industry point of view, it was like the ultimate, because it provided close-in AIS location support, and obviously get all the benefits from having 406 megahertz EPIRB as well. Other manufacturers are obviously coming along, and we're starting to see now, in the last 12 months, we've started to see customers wanting to actually use these products in more varied applications. More people asking, well, actually, can I put it in a life raft? Or can I put it in a John Boy? Obviously, the putting it in your life jacket has almost become the norm now. So yes, it's another illustration of how successful AIS has been vis-a-vis the overload point of view. So the potential is a bit of a vicious circle, but great ideas, and we really mustn't lose sight of where it's put us now and make sure we don't go backwards.
And PLB3, exactly as you mentioned a year ago that this came onto the market, and how has it been accepted by the market?
Very well. I think the concept of actually having a product, as I said, that people want to fit in a life raft, want to fit in a John Boy, and also can jump on the bandwagon of what everybody's wanted to do of putting it in life jackets, it's been really well received. And we've also seen a lot of customers who've said, actually, I don't want to do any of that. I want to have it in my pocket. Which has its advantages as well, because it can be obviously used, doesn't necessarily have to be used in a marine environment, but it gives people a lot more versatility as to when and where they can actually take it with them. So it really has closed the loop, and the concept of the product, the technology behind it, the way it's all integrated, has been a real positive thing for all of us, I think, both in industry and for end users.
Well, it seems a very, very interesting time, and I've no doubt that as things develop with AIS, that ocean safety will be playing a leading role in developments and how things work and how you combat AIS overload. So Alistair, many thanks indeed for your time.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you very much.